Here a practical application, support and assistance with regards to and in relation to words. Now, what you'll find when you are listening to videos, for example, or watching television, or basically listening to words within the forms that they manifest or are represented either within and through YouTube videos, movies, songs, conversations, that within and during the time that you are listening to the words in the form or manifestation that they exist or that you're participating within in that moment, is that you'll go through these phases wherein you'll in one moment pay attention to the words, and then in the next your focus or attention will kind of drop and go into this haze, and then another word will suddenly jump out, and then you'll pay attention or direct attention or focus again to the words themselves, and then you'll go out again into a haze, kind of not completely hearing with absolute focus and attention, but it becomes like a background noise that is half here but half not, and so you'll kind of continue within and during your experience or time of listening to the words. Now, one will more specifically be able to relate to this when you start paying attention, for example, when you're listening to YouTube videos that is more focused on only speaking, wherein you can, for example, hear what's being said without having to watch the video in particular, meaning where the video is more related to words and conversation than music or pictures flashing or words flashing, and things like that. So, in other words, when you, for example, listen to all the vlogs that's currently being done by everyone that is assisting and supporting themselves within their process. So, for an exercise, I suggest, for example, putting on one of the videos of one of the beings that are doing a vlog, or within the vlog, just like speaking, and only listen to the words. Then what you'll notice is, like, in some instances you'll actually pay direct attention to what's being said, meaning you'll actually hear the words directly, and in other instances you'll kind of like fade away for a moment, and then there'll be a word or words or a sentence coming up again that grabs your attention for that moment, and then you're here again, as though the sound is like becoming more louder and clearer in some moments, and in other moments just becoming background noise. But in fact, the sound in itself is constant. What you're hearing within its moment of manifestation or expression is constant. What is not within that moment, within that experience, is actually you yourself within and as the words that you're hearing. What you find even more interesting is that the words that you're hearing, meaning wherein your attention is here, are the words that you yourself most often or most frequently utilize within and through your vocabulary, meaning words that you are, or that is concrete within your participation within yourself, your reality, as you're interacting with others within and during communication, or interacting with yourself within and during communication. It's most often words that stand out the most is those that you're more familiar with. And then what you'll notice is the words where you start hazing out or kind of going into a daze, and where whatever it is that you're listening to kind of becomes like a background noise, or is not so clear in terms of your attention or focus. It would, for example, start where you didn't understand a word that was being spoken, and in that not understanding, you immediately switched off, and you went into your mind and kind of switched from hearing or listening to energy or mind. And then you'll wander off in your mind for a moment, and then when a word again comes up that you're kind of now only half paying attention to, because your other half of your attention, so to speak, is completely split or shifted into your mind, and then a word that you recognize or are familiar with comes up again, and then your attention or focus is completely back to what's being said by whatever it is that you're listening to. Or your attention will kind of drift when you reacted towards a particular word that was being spoken, or that you heard from whatever it is that you're listening. And in that reaction, you immediately switched off and went into participating in your mind, where you wander in and through your thoughts and kind of start looking or participating in other things instead of listening tentatively to whatever it is that you are participating within in that moment in your reality. Like, for example, the video interview that you're listening to. So whenever you have a moment, it would be cool for you to see who you are within this point, meaning if you can identify or recognize this reality shift that you accept and allow yourself to participate in, wherein you shift your focus and attention from hearing or listening to mind participation, wherein you go from hearing and focus and attention to half participating, and then again to hearing and listening with attention and focus, and then kind of shifting in and out of reality in such a way. I mean, it's also a practical application, support and assistance in terms of being here in breath and making sure that you're actually here walking with what it is and with who it is that is speaking or that you're listening to, that you're participating with in that moment, because it's like you're sharing that moment with someone else in a way. And it's to be here within full participation within yourself and your reality and what you're participating in. So from that perspective, it's also a cool support and assistance tool in terms of being a platform of practicing being here and hearing and participating with equal and one, and that is here, or who is here within and as your moment. And so I suggest starting there with your application, meaning hearing, making sure that your focus and attention is here within what you hear, that is constant, and then you can start paying more close attention to having a look at what words is it that take you into your mind reality, where you drift off and switch off either because you don't understand the word, or switch and drift off because you reacted to the word. And that would be a fun point or interesting point to play with. And this is also, of course, what the vocabulary purifier assistance support with, in terms of equalizing words as self here in participation in that moment wherein the words flash, and it's like not giving yourself that acceptance and allowance of reacting, because it's like an immediate application. So I apply myself here, I see the word, I type, I see the word, I type. You'll find that whenever you accept and allow reaction to come in, or when you don't understand the word in terms of a definition, that's when the mistyping or the mistakes come in. And you just got to retake the moment again in standing up and identifying the point of reaction, or educate yourself in terms of assisting and supporting yourself to get the definition and learning a word. So the vocabulary purifier from that perspective is a very cool assistance and support tool, so that, for example, when you then start listening or hearing or paying or focusing in terms of participation in hearing words, that you hear words as self, equal, and one here. Okay, thank you very much and enjoy.